Hey guys, and welcome to the next episode of Becoming Self-Sufficient. On today's video, I'll be doing a quick unboxing of some stuff I bought online to help me on my journey. Well, thank you for tuning in for another episode, guys. I'm super excited to be here today. Look, I've never done a video like this before. I've certainly never done an unboxing video, and I was kind of keen and excited to share it with you guys. I have pre-opened some of the stuff to make it a little bit easier while I'm on camera to get it out of its packaging and show you guys. What I've done is I've made a purchase on Amazon for a few little knickknacks and things that kind of really interested me. And I think that long term they could probably help me out in my journey on becoming self-sufficient. So let's get into it. So guys, this is a little bit of a larger package. But in here, got a machete. Now, obviously a machete has a whole array of different uses. This particular one here actually has a saw across the back. So any big branches that are a little bit thicker that I can't get through with any cutters for tree trimming or anything like that, I do have the saw on the back of the machete to be able to get those branches away. And also I've got the blade on the front. That's to cut back any of the brush or the overgrowth that might come through in the veggie patch. Not that I'm expecting anything to get so big that I need a machete for my veggie patch, but I thought it was a cool item, and I thought, especially for some of my other thoughts around why I'm becoming self-sufficient, it might be a great item just to have in my arsenal. But before I get into that, we'll open up the rest of the stuff, and I'll probably talk a little bit more freely around the other reasons why I got the machete towards the end of the video. I remember this one. So guys, this here is a waterproof, rechargeable, 1200 lumen flashlight. So this here, guys, it's small. It's not a big flashlight by any means at all. But as you can see, I can open and close that there. Now what that does is it actually opens up the aperture of I think aperture is the right word, of the lens at the front for the light on the inside, so I can have a very wide bright light, or by dialing it in I can have a very focused, small, intense light. And as I said, guys, this is actually 1200 lumens, which for a torch of this size is absolutely monstrous for the light that it's actually going to produce. A little bit more of one of my more excited purchases, that's for sure. Alright, so what have I got here? Aha, I remember now. So this is a little multi-tool. And in this little multi-tool, on one side we've got the hammer, On the other side, we have a really small little axe, which I'm not too sure yet what I would use the small little axe for, but it's there, and it's definitely something that I'll be able to use and utilize. I certainly hope so anyway there. But the unique thing about this, multi-tool. Got myself a little pair of pliers, and there's a small cutting tool there on the inside of the pliers as well. In this here, also got a small little fire starter, which if I needed to, I could use the axe end and knock the flint into some dry grass and things like that to get a fire going. In the emergency case of perhaps I don't have any matches or a lighter or anything with me, it's a great little tool to have just as a little bit of backup. And then also you've got the can opener and the file, and also just another little blade in there. So it's a great little tool, guys, one that I'm really excited to have. And you know what, you never know when you'll need it, and I've got it there for when I do. Now, the second box that I have here also kind of falls into that little bit of a controversial item like the machete does, but again, it's one of those items that I will explain as to why I have it at the end of the video. But this here take the safety catcher off, is just a blade. On the back here, we've got these grooves for things like scaling fish, so it kind of doubles again as a little bit of a multi-tool. So if I'd caught the fish, you know, and I wanted to clean it and do a little bit of a catch and cook there on the beach, I could turn the knife over and scrape backwards on the scales and obviously be able to scale my fish then and there. And using the pointy end, I could do the gutting of the fish and, you know, and the removal of the fins, all that nasty stuff that really isn't the most pleasant thing to do. But once you actually are hooking into eating the fish, it's well and truly worth it. So I do have a little blade there as a cleaning tool for the fish. It also has, sorry, what that was as well is just another little fire starter in there. So if I don't have those matches and those lighters, I've got two backups now for that. This one here, guys, look, I'm not actually going to open this up on camera. There's no need to open this up on camera. And the reason why I don't really need to open this up on camera is they're just gas canisters, okay? They're just recharges for one of the other items that I've purchased. So I'm not too worried about showing you guys what they are. It's basically just 4 cans of butane. Which leads me to the next item. This bad boy right here. And this is a dual burner, portable barbecue plate, I guess you would say. And this is what those gas canisters will actually go into. So similar as I explained earlier, you're out in the beach, you want to do a nice catch and cook on the sand right then and there with a nice fresh fish. I'll have this bad boy right there good to go in preparation for any situations where I might need it, or I'm enjoying the day out with my family by the ocean and we want to have some lunch that we just caught fresh. So I've got this good to go, and it's very, very portable. As you can see, it comes with a handle on there. Obviously the cardboard advertisement comes away, but it's got a good little carry case that it goes into and makes it super, super portable. All right, and finally, the item I am most excited about, that I've waited the longest for it to arrive. Part of becoming self-sufficient for me is removing myself from the infrastructure of society and needing to rely on the infrastructure of society. I do not want to have to be dependent upon Coles, on Woolworths. Like a lot of us, we have those cravings for fast foods. I really want to start to detach myself from society, not in a negative way. I'm very much a people person. I'm making these videos to you guys. I am a person who likes to be liked. I love to be out there and communicating. My day job is a sales role, and I'm in management, so I manage people. I want to get away from being dependent upon the infrastructure that's been set up and how we buy our food, eat our food, and live our day-to-day lives. And I guess that's enough said on that for now. But this item here is a recurve bow and arrow, I guess you would say. Well, the arrow's not here, but it's a recurve hunting bow. Okay? Because I would like to get to a point where I go out hunting. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but it's something that really, really appeals to myself. And obviously, it's not together at the moment, and the pieces would attach here, and the other piece would attach on the other end. So you can see how large this is going to be. And it's a 50 to 80 pound bow, which puts it in the range of a takedown bow. So it is one that I would be able to use to go hunting for things like pigs, and perhaps in the future maybe kangaroos, and larger animals that I can't catch on the end of my fishing rod. So I've purchased this item for that reason, so that again, if we ever find ourselves in a position where we need to take care of our family and are unable to go to Coles and Woolies, but we need to get some meat for the energy and the caloric density that meat carries, I'm still able to go out there and get things done. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of why I would like to become self-sufficient. I love my family. I love my wife and my children, and I've always promised that I would take best care of them, the best care of them, that I possibly could. And I'm slowly starting to see, especially here in Australia, a little bit of a downturn in the infrastructure that's set up and the society as a whole. There are a lot of riots going on at the moment where people are rioting due to the lockdowns of COVID, when in reality we have very minimal cases compared to the rest of the world. But our governments, our state governments, are choosing to lock down states and keep people within their homes. And there's curfews now where we can't leave our homes from 9 p.m. at night until 5 a.m. the next morning without gaining a license or a pass from Service New South Wales, or whatever the other governing bodies are in the other states. And I'm starting to see a real control over the population and an enforcement which hasn't been said out loud yet, but small little subtle things that are getting said along the lines of, unless you are vaccinated, you cannot go to work. Unless your children are vaccinated, you can't go to school. And it's not the vaccination that concerns me, it's what it represents and the level of control that's being enforced over the people. And I'm a God-fearing man. I do believe in God. I believe in what the Bible says. And there is a lot of prophecy in the Bible about things like this happening towards the end days, is what the Bible describes it as. Now, are we living in the end days? I don't know. Is what is happening right now an indication for a new world order, that all this stuff that's coming out online about forming a one world government, a one world currency, the rise of communism and the fall of democracy. This is all crazy stuff. I get it. But it is a little bit scary. And what I am doing is ensuring that if, and that's a big if, okay? Any of this stuff, any of these theories that are out there are real and true, that my family and I are in a position where we can live separately and be unaffected by what happens in what would be classed as normal society. I want to be able to provide food and shelter and water for my wife, for my children, and if that means bugging out is a term I've heard for other shows around people who are called preppers. If I need to be able to do that on really short notice and still be able to provide for them in order to protect them, I want to be in a position to do that, because the world seems to be going crazy from what the media is saying. And what is also really scary is Australian television is sending and preaching a very different message about COVID and about vaccines to what a lot of the rest of the world is showing. I've seen the videos of people who have taken the vaccine and ended up with symptoms like cerebral palsy and fits and unable to talk and blood clotting and all of these things that are being shown on different media outlets around the world. None of that, however, in Australia is being shown on television. We're just being told blindly that the vaccines are safe, that you need to do this in order for your life to go back to normal. And I want to know why. Because the vaccines may be safe, but they're not preventing you from getting COVID anyway. People who are getting vaccinated are still getting COVID just like everybody else, and they are transmitting this disease just as much as anybody else. The vaccines don't seem to be doing what the government is telling us that they are doing. And this video is crazy. I cannot believe that I'm even putting a video like this up. It surprises me and it shocks me that I'm even saying the things that I'm saying. And that is just a clear indication to me of how ingrained my mind is on how I've been told to think and how I've been told a normal person in society should behave and the actions and the thoughts that they should have. But I'm doing this for my family. I'm not going to stop, and I'm only going to get better and better at it. And I wanted to share this heartfelt message so that even if one person hears it and it all turns out to be true, but one person decided to do something the same as me and their life is saved, then good for you. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been another episode of Becoming Self-Sufficient. I'm Josh Davey, and I'll talk to you soon.